I'm a little upset, but it's okay. It's okay. I have to resay everything now. You can see Faker with lyrics. I am covering Geo's Faker with lyrics because, one, I don't want to have to write an entire song in the span of like an hour because I'm very lazy with writing. And I'm not, when I say I'm lazy, I don't mean that I'm like bad at writing. I mean, I kind of am. I can't consistently write. I've wanted to cover Geo's Faker for a long time now, and this is like the best opportunity for me to do it. So I already have them all in a doc. I suggest using Google Docs over like a Word document on Windows, mainly because you can color. Now I don't know if you can color on Word, like a Word document. I think I tried to, and I couldn't figure it out. So, because you could share it with other people, which makes it just so much easier. You don't have to constantly send updates. You can just give them the document, and then they can check whenever they want to. Some tips that I can think of for writing, because in my opinion, writing is the hardest part of the video, mainly because I can't write consistently. I am just slow. And it's fine to be slow, but I am like astronomically slow to the point it takes me like a week to write a song. Well, in fact, Oversight took me a week to write. I mean, to be fair, it's Oversight, and Oversight's really difficult to write, but that doesn't change anything. It took me a really long time to write. But some tips I could give for writing, at least I would consider them tips. Just write. And when I say just write, I mean, don't be afraid to write bad. Because if you write bad, at least you can go and fix it later on. Would you rather have nothing written or at least something written? Even if it's not up to like a good standard, you still have something written there. Which, the further on you get with writing, the more you'll be able to go back and fix your mistakes and make them sound better. For writing itself, one thing I highly suggest is using synonyms and using rhyme zone. Now, I know people like to say that rhyme zone is for sissies and that you shouldn't use rhyme zone. You can use rhyme zone. I use rhyme zone mainly because I can't think of rhymes off the top of my head. And when I look at rhyme zone, I see a lot more rhymes than I initially could have thought of. So it isn't bad to use rhyme zone, but I think the only issue is when you start using words that you don't even understand. Like you look up their definition and then you just use it. For lyrics, I don't recommend using really obscure words unless you can make it so like they're understandable at least. Don't try and use really obscure words. Like for Geo's Faker, he does use a decent amount of like, you could say like weird. I don't know if weird's the right word, but he uses a lot of big boy words. But they're simple enough to where you don't need to like really think about them to understand what the lyrics are trying to say. Another tip I can think of is you don't always have to rhyme. I know, with Friday Night Funkin', you should rhyme, and obviously it's really good to rhyme, but at least for me, I find it better that when I can't think of how to make a specific part, don't try and make it rhyme, or at least you don't have to do a perfect rhyme. A perfect rhyme is where like fake, take, make, bait. Those are perfect rhymes because they all end in the exact same syllables. They'll have that ache sound. You don't always necessarily need to do a perfect rhyming. Like for instance, at the end of Boyfriend's verse, leaves the past race, it's not too late. That's not a rhyme, but they're close rhymes. While they're not literally rhyming. They have that A sound, like race, late. They have the sound, they have the syllable, which as long as they have some sort of syllable, I think that they are perfectly fine to use. And if you can't think of rhymes, I would suggest looking for synonyms of another word, because sometimes you can't find a rhyme because the word you're using has really difficult rhymes that are really difficult to put in. So overall, I would just say don't really try and use obscure words. Keep your writing simple. Don't overcomplicate the writing. unless you like to overcomplicate it, I would not suggest overcomplicating it. But I would also suggest don't be too simple. And when I say don't be too simple, I don't mean write the exact same thing for every song. Because, for example, Imposter, I wouldn't try and write like red, green, white, maroon. Like, try and give them personality. Because, haha, they are trying to kill boyfriend. That is true. But don't make that their personality. Like, for Maroon, he's an assassin. In my eyes, he's an assassin. He's a very cocky assassin. White, he's a very stealthy imposter, but he's also cocky. But red, he's stupid. Green, he's smart. Just try and give your characters personality. And another thing I wanna touch on is boyfriend. Boyfriend, whether or not you're writing him, boyfriend is a pain. Writing boyfriend, especially for longer songs, is a pain because you're basically writing the exact same thing for every song. I would suggest try and at least give him a personality that isn't strictly, haha, I'm gonna beat you and I'll never lose. Try and give him like a personality. And if you can't think of it, make him like speak the lore of the song. Like for Faker, boyfriend is talking about, Faker's past. Like, don't strictly make boyfriend I'm the almighty and I can never lose. Because in the end, he doesn't sound great. But if you can't really think of lyrics for boyfriend, I would suggest not writing him. Even though I personally think writing boyfriend is better than not writing boyfriend, I highly suggest if you can't make him sound good, I would just write the opponent. Overall, that's everything I have with writing. And now we'll be moving on to voice acting, which that's weird because I recorded that part. But anyways, so you completed your writing. Awesome job. Now you actually got to sing that. So fortunately, I have an FLP. I need to say this. You almost every single time you need an FLP. Now, the reason I say almost every single time, you need an FLP if you're actually going to tune it. Tuning is almost essential if you want your song to sing good. I'm not saying you have to tune it for it to sound good, but if you don't tune it, you have to try a lot more. So when you have an FLP, and if you're wondering where you get FLPs from, just look them up on YouTube. You could be even a MIDI if you want, but FLPs are better strictly because they have the instrumental. They have a lot more than the notes. So we got our Faker instrumental here. We got Faker. And now we got a voice act. I'm not gonna voice act and record this at the same time. So I will be right back when I do that. Bam! So when recording, don't be afraid to mess up. Obviously you're gonna mess up. It's gonna happen. But if you mess up, don't get upset. Don't get upset about it. But no, yeah. So when you record, obviously you want to put this together, right? So I'm gonna do that real quick. Now I don't sound great on tune. I can't lie. But before I even do that thing, I'm going to put effects, because effects make me sound cooler than I really am. Now, with effects, I usually always put effector. I always put at least some sort of delay, like right there, and then reverb. Well, wait, I put delay twice. I should also say this is not gonna be an FL Studio tuning tutorial, nor is it really a tutorial on it's not a tutorial on how to make an FNF song. I'm just talking about the video itself. If you want to learn how to make an FNF song, I could make that video, going through this specific process, but I'm not trying to do this specific process. I'm just trying to show how the process really is. I'm not trying to go too in depth because it's a long process. But I chose Faker specifically because it's a much easier song to do. But I'll be back. Alright. After a while, Hey, it's here. Okay. So I should say this. When you are asking someone else to voice act for you, I highly recommend you give them a scratch track. Scratch track is basically you sing the lyrics you wrote that you want them to sing. You want a scratch track because if there's a part where they're confused, like it, because you're not gonna 100% write every single note unless you're crazy. They might get confused at what to sing. Scratch tracks help guide them in a way so that they know how to sing a certain part, how you want them to sing a certain part. I feel like I should mention that. And speaking of scratch, yeah, don't be ashamed if you hear your own voice that isn't tuned. It's not gonna sound great, and I know that they don't sound great, but trust me, it can go from really crappy to really nice. So, anyways, I'm going to go tune this now. So, I'll be back in probably like 40 minutes. So, yeah. Alright, now that you have your song done, before you get onto the editing, you gotta get some art. Now, you can do this before or after editing, it doesn't matter at all. I do it before editing because then I don't have to leave editing. I could do it the entire thing in one process. So, you know, what I use for drawing, I use an app called Krita. It's like one of the best free it's one of the best free drawing apps on PC, in my opinion. And I don't know, it's so easy to understand. But yeah, like. Among Us. Because, like, you need more Among Us in your life. Anyways, I'm not gonna teach how to do art because I can't even teach art. So, I'm just gonna draw art. So, time lapse. Time lapse? Yes. Alright, we got the panel done. That took me about an hour, maybe an hour, 10 minutes. I think it came out pretty good. For as bad as I am with drawing Sonic. Nice. Anyways, that's art. The final, I guess you could say final step would be, editing, which it's also one of my least favorites. So, yes. Finally, the last part is editing. Editing can either be the fastest or the longest. So you want to grab gameplay of your. So I got Faker, Rainy Cobra. Um, Let me just like get rid of these first few seconds because, personally, I think it'd be better if it just like, yeah. So first off, you want to grab your song. You're in CapCut, because I like CapCut. Make sure to use an MP3, because OGG does not work. So I click here, I go to audio, bam, it's gone into the video. I go back. I was once confronted. Okay, that's pretty good. I'm gonna bring it back just a little bit so that I can have it synced up. I was once confronted by abandoned from. I think that's pretty good. Now, for videos, you need a little bit of things. You need, depending on who's singing, you need nameplate. So I go to text generator. Now text generator, it's easiest because I don't understand how to use their text system. So I go, let's just go to Halloween because I always use Halloween. Scroll down. Let's choose a font. Choose the Angry Birds font. So we gotta get Faker. Now I'm Spirit Y233. So if I generates it right now, this is what it's gonna look like. I'm going to align it just a little bit. There we go. Now Faker, that's almost like a perfect blue, unironically. I'm gonna maybe choose like a more. Actually, I'll keep that blue now. You can mess around with these. I'll just use this one. Give it a second. It's gonna have to change this color. I'm going to copy this. Okay, I have to align that again. I'm gonna do this and then make it like darker. Okay, I can fix that. That's fine. You can copy this, copy image, bam. Oh my god. Okay, well, you want to make sure it's at like a good font. 100, about 100, yeah. Generate, bam. Now, I also want outline for this, so it's not just that transparent outline. For the transparent outline, I typically want it to be a little darker version of color already is, so like that. It's good. With this, bam. Now you save it, and here's your nameplate. You can obviously add a lot more. For nameplates, I typically add like something related to the character in the back. Like for Black Imposter, I'd add the cone. Or for Maroon, I added his bandana. Faker, I can't really think of anything right now. I don't want to draw more Sonic. I could put a ring, but I'm not going to. Alright, we got our nameplate. And the next thing that it's optional. You don't necessarily need a text box. Text boxes, I've seen people use them, I've seen people not use them. They're really kind of if you want to use them. I use them personally only when there's no art on the screen. When art shows up on the screen, the text box either disappears immediately or just fades away. I just like that because I like the entire panel to be shown. So I'm gonna go grab a Faker text box from Mr. Shadow because, aha, free text box. Alright, now that you've imported your things, you want to add them to the timeline. Typically, I like maybe like right here it'll start to fade in. For position, I typically put it just like 900, negative 900. Looks good. Maybe a little too low. No, it's about fine. I typically want it to fade in, so I go to animation. I wait for it to load, or I can just choose fade in right now. And maybe I'll have the fade in go a little quicker. 3 seconds. Yeah, like that. I was once on fun. About right here, I'll have the text. So I'm gonna increase the scale to like 150. Maybe not 150, it's a little too big. Maybe like that, that's good. That's good. I'll also have it fade. I was once confronted by I'd say that's about a good amount of time to span. I'll put it at 3 as well. Fade out. Put it at and now I was once confronted by bam. There you go. Sure that this goes the entire way. What the hell? Oh, I downloaded the wrong video. That's annoying. I'm just gonna have it fade out because I'm not downloading it. Have it fade out. Maybe like I'll have this one. I'll have the 1 second. Just put it in because Alright, so now we got I was once confronted by abandoned from. Alright, now let's add the art panel, and then we can add all the text, all the random text. Alright, we have I think right here would be good. Put it underneath the text box. It's not too late. I see your purpose. Past ways. Now in this place, leave the past ways. It's not too late. Think about there. I was gonna have zoom-ins, but I would probably have to have another panel. So I'm gonna cut this. Cut it. I'm gonna cut this. I'm gonna delete this. I'm gonna have this fade. And I'll have this one fade back in. Now, for art, how art gets introduced is very situational. If there is like a flashbang during a section, you can use the color that flashes on screen as a transition. For this, I'm just gonna have it fade in because there's nothing that would make sense in my opinion. So I'll have it So this works.
Cherish moments where they dance in my natural Eden and memories of her bright embrace, but now learn to win every my way up.
But I think that maybe we can give a little zoom in. We can give a little zoom into boyfriend.
Cherish moments where they dance in my natural Eden and memories of.
I think I'm just gonna keep it like that because I don't want to have to stress.
In this place, leave the past erase. It's not too late. I see.
Alright, now that that's there, the final thing we really need is text. So text, just like everything else, is you can do it however you want. I like to use the font that Mamie uses because I don't know, it's a nice font. About 23 seconds, so I'll have text. I'll have it go around the entire thing. So default text, no longer. So the first line is, I was once confronted by X. I use Sego, I don't know if around that you see it, you know. The meme Mayo text. Let's try and find like looks like a nice color for him. Scale, I typically go to 55, so that looks like that. Negative 900, so that maybe like negative 905 actually. There you go. This looks a little more centered. A glow. I love to add glow because I'm weird like that. The color is gone. Where did the color go? I don't want it to look too much like a Lord X, so I'll make it a little darker. There you go. Intensity. I'll bring it to like 40, 46. I'll make them about 46, yeah.
Give up my play.
So what I basically like to do is I just like to find every part that I can add new text and I just splice it up so that I don't have to redo this every single time. So
I was once confronted by X. Abandoned from everything. What's next? What's next?
alright. I was confronted by X. Abandoned from everything. What's... The song has a lot of duetting. The song has a lot of duets, so I have to overlap them. Like...
Confronted by X, abandoned from everything. What's next? I hear the echoes. I hear the echoes of your past struggling against fate so fast.
There you go. So... Typically whenever boyfriend's like singing right after the opponent, I'll have the opponent's thing underneath it. For scale I usually increase it just like 50. Or no, 45 I'm at, whoopsies. I increase it down to 45. I bring this down to about 980. Okay, 998, 980. That looks about good. I'm gonna be a little bit lazy with the text, simply because I can treat it as a subject.
confronted by extra abandoned from everything. What's now? I hear the echoes of your past. Struggling against.
Oh yeah. So 980, 45. 80, 45.
Against fate so vast.
For boyfriend.
I was once
Boyfriend, I'll add him up.
everything. What's now? I hear the echoes of your past.
I think that's good. For boyfriend, hold on. I hear the echoes of your past. The echo. Same thing. His color. Bam, that's the color I used for him. So, because he's speaking on the top, make it 45. We're gonna put this at about, I want to say 830. He's enough glow. Standard glow I have from him is about 25.
What's now? I hear the echoes of your past.
Struggling. So, I'm also gonna do this where it's. Let's put this here. Struggling against fates. Against fate so vast. Against fate.
Everything. What's now? I hear the echoes of your past.
I'm gonna actually have this. I have this at like 90. Maybe 1,000. Let me just put it at 1,000. Yeah, I think that's actually better. Basically, after
I was once confronted by extra abandoned from everything. What's now? I hear the echoes of your past. Against fate so vast. Of what became of my.
basically that's what I do. Whenever there's a duet, like, okay, I'll go to the duet. There's a duet because there's one scene right here, so I'll put it for here. What real? What fake? So this, keep the color white because duet typically white signifies both of them singing. Position negative 905. Looks good. For glow, I put it at. For glow, I put it at 30, 50. 30, 55. They. So, I'll also have this fade out. Go out. It's gonna take a bit to load. Wait a second. Out. And we find fade out. There's fade out. We also put this at 1, -1.
What real what's fake?
basically, that's the gist. You don't have to follow this. This is just how I personally make them, and in the future, I probably might change my style up a bit. Other people, I know Geo. Geo, he goes crazy with the editing. I can't match his level of editing, but this is, in my opinion, like the simplest way you can do it. I do it simply because I can't figure out how to do it so awesome like Geo. But anyways, I'll be back once I have everything here. So, yeah. Alright, so I got the video complete finished now. Added. I got a little lazy with the ending, but I thought it could fit. Alright, now that we've got our video finally done, we can export it and then upload it. But before I do that, I'm gonna finish the thumbnail. So typically for thumbnails, don't ask why I have two of these open. I can't close the other one. But for thumbnails, I usually grab the panel or a panel I drew for it, and I just put text over it, like Faker with lyrics. So I'll grab, I'll use this Faker, and then I'm gonna put with lyrics at the bottom, but I'm gonna do this one first. So generate, we're going to not use an outline. I'm going to, I'll just use a normal one. Faker. Alright. Copy. Bam. Okay, I'll make the text a little bit bigger. Maybe like 130. Yeah, it looks nice. Got Faker. And now I can put with lyrics cover. I'm a little inconsistent with when I put with lyrics cover, but for this one I will, because I am indeed doing a cover of Geo's lyrics. Bam, okay, we can make the text a little bit smaller because there's a lot of stuff. We can make it like this, maybe this will fit. This looks nice. Can position it a few pixels away. Put like 2 pixels away. Alright. Now I'm also gonna grab an outline. Transparent outline, I'm gonna make it a little darker. So for this, make sure that it's over. There we go, Faker with lyrics cover. Now we need Faker. Now this was at like 133, so I'm gonna put it back there. Generate, so it's Faker. Alright, that looks good. So there we go, we got a thumbnail. You can always make the text stick out more. This is just how I do thumbnails because I don't want to be super, I don't want to go super overboard with the thumbnails. But yeah, thumbnail. Alrighty, with the video exported, we can finally upload it to YouTube. So we insert the video, and there we go. So because I want it to be a little ominous and little ominous, I'm just gonna put cover of ... Because it's a cover of Geo's video, I'm gonna at him in the description. I'm gonna put description, well, update, post, premiere, and let's put some tags so that we can get some views. Put FNF, Friday Night Funkin', Among Us. You can put the thing the algorithm really loves, which is like a description of the base game. Apparently the algorithm just really loves it. So no, not made for kids. We want our comments, and then we'll put our thumbnail, which I'm gonna have it as a black void because I'm trying to make it seem ominous. Alright, it's gonna show up white because I have the thing on. I have a thing on. Alright. Video elements, you can add end screens. I don't like to add end screens. This will tell you if you have copyright issues or anything issues. I'm gonna set this to a premiere in about 45 minutes. So I'm gonna public. I'm gonna schedule it. It's gonna be today, May 11th. And I'm going to set it at 2, I'm gonna set it at 3 o'clock. Not 3 in the morning, be devastating. 3 p.m. set as premiere. And then wait for it to finally be finished, and then we can upload it. Reason you want to wait for all of this to finish is if you're too quick and you decide to just schedule it now, there's a chance it'll upload before it's done with this, and your video resolution is gonna come out really crappy. So I just typically wait. Now that everything is complete, schedule and upload, and then copy video link. Bam, premieres in 44 minutes. That's basically it. So if there's any questions that anybody has, you can DM me on Discord, or you can just comment down below. I'll respond to probably a majority of them. So yeah, thank you for watching. This is a different type of video that I didn't think I'd be doing, but hey, I thought it would be interesting. So thank you. I'd appreciate if you like and subscribe and all the silly stuff that people like to say at the end of their videos. But yeah, bye bye and have a great day.